This is Will Aubrey coming to you live from McDonald's here in Murray, Kentucky. It's our final edition this year of This Week in Laker Basketball, and my guest this morning is four of the seniors from Callaway County High School's Laker basketball team. And first up, I'm going to be talking to Peyton Johnson here. And Peyton, hard to believe your senior year is finished as far as basketball is concerned. Talk about your experience at Callaway County High School and the things that you'll remember and will be important to you.
Well, what I remember most is just the locker room talk and practice. It was hard, but we got through it together. And I think just run out of the tunnel. It was a different feeling every night. And we just tried to accomplish it. We tried to win a bunch of games.
Last year, you all struggled quite a bit. I think you won 8 games last year. This year, you had 21 victories. What was the difference in the 2 years?
I think it was just experience, going out and knowing that we were better than the other team. We were kind of nervous because we never played varsity basketball last year, and just coming out and knowing that we were going to win each night.
What's Coach Birdsong like to play for?
He's a great coach. He knows what he's talking about, and you just got to follow his direction and listen to what he's saying, and he'll really teach you a lot of things about the game of basketball.
Now, people who've never been on a team, been in a huddle, when timeouts are called, sometimes they wonder what the coach is saying. I'm going to give you a couple examples, and you tell me what you guys were talking about. The game at Marshall County when they got up 18-0 on you, I believe, in that game, and you all had to fight your way back. When Coach called timeout during that run, what was he telling you?
He was just telling us to keep playing our game and just keep doing what we were doing because we knew that we were good enough to come back from it. We've done it before. We did it at Murray High when we were down, it was like 14-0 last year, so we could come back. We knew we could.
Now, conversely, the game that you had against Marshall County in the district tournament championship, that was a game where they were calling timeout early, but obviously if you have a timeout, both teams go and they talk to their coaches. So what was he telling you in that game when you got out to the huge lead, got out to a 30-10 lead on them when Marshall was calling timeout?
Just to keep pushing the lead out because we knew that their press, we kept breaking it every time, and we were shooting the ball great, so he just wanted us to shoot the ball.
Okay. Pick one of your teammates here and tell me what makes them an excellent player.
I'll go with Camden and the way he can shoot the ball and knife through the defense.
Okay, and we'll give Camden the headset there. And Camden, you had a lot of great games this year. And probably the best game that you had was that 40-point game at Fulton County. Toward the end of that run, before Coach Birdsong took you out of the game, I know you missed a layup and you were really frustrated. You came over and slapped the stage. Talk about what it felt like to be that hot in that game where you could score that many points in just 3 quarters.
It was a lot of fun, but I couldn't do it by myself. If you go back and watch that game, most of them, I was just standing on the 3-point line and people were giving me the ball. I wasn't really doing a whole lot, so it was a lot of fun, but I didn't do it on my own, and that was a really fun game in general. We played really well as a team. It's one of the games that kind of got us off to a good start for the season.
Now, you think back and tell me what are the things you'll remember most about your time at Callaway County High School, either involving basketball or away from basketball.
Well, in regards to basketball, the district tournament games this year were probably the 2 most fun games I've ever played in. Playing Murray High specifically is always fun. And then even though we only played 1 game, the regional tournament is just fun. It's a fun experience. It's a fun atmosphere to play in. Those are probably my favorite memories as far as basketball goes.
What about away from the court?
That's a good question.
That's why I asked it.
I don't know. I guess just being with my friends and being surrounded by good people, and I'm good friends with a lot of teachers in the high school, and just it's a good environment at the high school, and everybody's very friendly, and it's just a good place to be.
Okay. Pick one of your teammates here and tell me what makes them a good player.
Clayton did me, so I'll talk about him. But he's crazy. He's a great rebounder. He can shoot the lights out of the ball. He's honestly probably the best passer on our team too. When he wants to be, he's just a great player, and he was the biggest part of our team this year. And he's absolutely great to play with.
Okay. Pass it on, I guess, to Isaiah here, and we'll talk to Isaiah Butler a little bit. And tell me, Isaiah, in your time at Callaway over the last 4 years, what stands out in your mind?
Probably making it to the regional tournament this year, because I saw that there was some statistic that Callaway had never beaten Marshall in the district tournament at Marshall County. We were the first team to ever do it. So,
Well, and they're clearly very difficult to play over there. They get a good turnout, they have a good crowd, and on their home court, they're a formidable team. What about away from the court? What stands out in your mind? What will you remember about Callaway County High School, being a Laker?
that is, well, probably it was a big difference because I transferred here sophomore year.
Okay.
It was a big difference from my previous high school, Graves County, and Callaway County, where at Graves County, the only time that the principal got on the intercom was to threaten us. And coming to Callaway, where I told Randy McCallum we'll talk 15 minutes on the intercom before the day starts.
Okay. All right. I made announcements on the intercom when I was in high school. Pick Jonah here and tell me why Jonah's such an excellent player.
Well, because his arms are so freakishly long that he doesn't even have to jump, and he can get a rebound out at the three-point line. Doesn't even have to move.
Okay. And pass the headset along to Jonah, and we'll talk to him a little bit. Jonah, as you look back on your 4 years at Callaway County High School, what stands out in your mind? What will you remember the most?
Yeah, like Isaiah, I transferred to Callaway as a freshman. I went to Henry County all throughout middle school, and my brother came to Callaway as a freshman too, so I came. And I already had a lot of friends here at Callaway, but just being on the basketball team, remember the first day of school as a freshman, I was pretty scared. All of us freshmen were, but we was all in the locker room together as a basketball players, me, Peyton, Camden, Cole, who came here today, but just having those friendships and all throughout basketball, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. And my sophomore year, going to Rupp. We didn't none of us got to really play any because that team was so good that year. But I'm just going up to Rupp that year and experiencing all that, and just those friendships in the locker room and pregame and after the big wins and stuff like that. That's just something I always remember. Being there with my coaches and my teammates, that was just a lot of fun.
Give us your perspective on playing for Coach Birdsong.
Coach Birdsong, he's a fun guy to play for. He gets after you in practice and in games, but at the end of the day, all he wants for you to do is be the best player you can be. That's all you can do. And just playing for Coach and Coach Donahue, Morris, Coach Butler, and Coach Poole this year, they always push us to be our best in practice. And practice is very difficult and very competitive. That's the way they want them to be.
Okay.
But, just playing for them, that was a lot of fun and they taught us a lot of life lessons.
What about away from basketball? What will you remember?
Away from basketball, probably should be all the friendships I've made here at Callaway. And pretty much all my friends are on the basketball team and play other sports. So we're all very active in our school and in the community. And just having those friendships that you gain in high school and just knowing that your guys will be there for you no matter what, that's something I always keep close to my heart.
Tell me what makes Isaiah a good player.
Isaiah, what we call a lethal shooter. In practice, if he gets hot, he gets hot. He just let him fly from everywhere. But Isaiah, he's not the most athletic, But I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But hey, that boy can put them up in a hurry. So and when he gets to going, he can shoot the ball like crazy. And heck of a player.
All right. I want to talk to each of you about some of your standout games. And, if we look back at your games, Jonah, probably the best game that you had in your whole time at Callaway came in the district tournament championship game this year. You had 19 points in that game. And there was one play where Jeremy was taking it to the rim, Jeremy Darnell, and you came out of nowhere, and there was kind of a collision, and it looked like you were falling out of bounds, but somehow you managed to tip the ball in. How did you do that?
I don't know. I was standing on the other 3-point line, and I saw Jeremy get a steal, and he was taking it to the hole, and there was 3 Marshall guys on him. I saw him look back, like Jeremy's about to miss this layup. I didn't think he was going to make it. I thought he was about to throw it on the backboard, but I just followed it up, sprinted in, and the ball just kind of bounced off to me. It's like, hey, might as well put it back up. So I grabbed it, shot up, got fouled. Like, oh dang, I made it. So that was fun.
You had 19 points in that game, and toward the end of the year, you had a couple of games like that where it just seemed like you were cleaning up everything under the basket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I pride myself on rebounding and just putting them back. I know I'm not a great scorer, but I try to do the dirty work, and most of my points come to the credit of great point guards on our team. Half the time, Christian Adams would get in the middle of the court and just take off sprinting, then hit me with a bounce pass for a layup. So I couldn't do it without them for sure.
Okay, now, you play primarily inside. Did you ever wish that you were a guard who was shooting a lot of threes? Did you ever go out and, pretend you were Camden?
I don't know about that. When I was in middle school, I was actually a point guard. I was a little short guy, and I took all the shots I wanted. But when I get to high school, I kind of hit a growth spurt, and I became one of the big guys. But yeah, I wish I could put up some more threes. I took 1 3 on the year this year. Took it at Paducah Tillman. We played there. And I took 1 3, and I hit the bench pretty quick after I took that 3. But I think it'd be cool to. I always play video games and stuff. I always make my guy a shooting guard, so I like to shoot the ball. I'm not very good at it, but I like to. It's cool.
Well, pass the headset to Peyton. He likes to shoot it too. So we'll talk to Peyton a little bit. And Peyton, obviously the game probably that you all as a team will look back on and enjoy the most was that district championship game. You had a couple of other games where you just really showed out this year. You had 26 points in the 63-53 victory over Murray High. You hit 3 3-pointers in that game. You hit 2 3-pointers in a 20-point game against Mayfield. So, those were excellent. 21 points in the victory over Evangelical Christian. So those are definitely performances to remember. But I got to tell you, the game that I'm going to remember is first game. It might have been the first game of the year last year where you all played St. Mary. You came out and hit something like 7 or 8 threes in that game. So talk about those games and, just talk about those games.
If you know me, I like to watch a lot of NBA, so my main focus is not really getting points. I would rather get rebounds, assists and steals or whatever I can do to impact the game. I like Draymond Green a lot, so he's a 10-10 guy. He tries to go in and do those things, and I just do whatever I can to help my team out. But I do like to shoot the ball. You're right about that.
Well, I think everybody likes to shoot the ball. Particularly the game against Murray where you had 26 points, that was the game where Preston English scored 30 for them. And, you guys had to have somebody step up and come close to matching him, and you did that in that game. Obviously, beating Murray's always good.
Yes, sir. That was the highlight of my year, I think, is taking 3 wins from them. I mean, that's a really great feeling to do that to your rival. And I guess the second game, I got going in the post and I got my confidence up, and then I just shot the ball later throughout the game and hit my shot. So I was happy to do that.
All right. Pass the headset there to Camden. We'll talk to Camden. And now, I asked Jonah if, like, he ever wanted to be a guard and shoot threes, and maybe he dreamed about being like you. You ever dream about being like Jonah, cleaning things up under the basket the way he does?
Yes, being 6'4" would be a lot nicer than being 5'10" or 5'11", however tall I am. It's probably hurt a little less in the morning waking up a little bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I already mentioned, you had the 40-point game at Fulton County, but you had some other great games as well. You had 30 in the district championship victory over Marshall County. Then you had in the game against Murray High where you won 63-53. You had 18 points. So you had a lot of games where you just really scored a lot of points for Callaway this year. Wound up averaging 18 points on the season. And so clearly shooting particularly the perimeter shot, the three, is something that you like to do. But I thought what took your game to the next level this year was your ability to take it to the basket and shoot that little floater.
Yes, sir. This summer, before this season, I played a lot of pickup ball, and playing against those guys, you don't get a lot of ticky-tack fouls going down the lane. You get hammered off every time you go down the lane, so it really helped me get tougher and being able to finish at the rim. And it kept people from just smothering me at the three-point line, gave me a little more space. And then with Christian and Will being a big part to let me play off the ball more this year was a big help as well.
Okay. Hand the headset there to Isaiah. We'll talk to him a little bit. And you had some nice games this year, Isaiah, but the games that I look back on, you had a couple last year where against Fulton County and Crittenden County, where you scored in double figures. The Crittenden County game, you hit 2 3-pointers in that game and helped Callaway to the victory. But you're kind of a multi-dimensional sort of player in that you play inside and outside. Talk about the mindset that it requires to do both.
Well, I've been this height since I was in middle school.
And how tall are you?
5'11".
Okay.
So I started out playing a bunch inside, and then my freshman year I got to where I could shoot the three, and that allowed me to play inside and outside. But it's kind of tough because you have to play outside, but you also have to go inside and rebound.
Okay. All right. We had a little interruption there. My lovely wife had to come by and take something from the table. So anyhow, I shouldn't be critical. She's just trying to do something nice for me. But moving right along, I've asked the others this question. I want to ask it to you as well. Tell me what it's like playing first for Coach Birdsong and then with your dad as an assistant coach. What's it like playing for your dad?
Well, I kind of had Coach Birdsong a little bit because he was at Graves also my freshman year. But he really helped me progress because I could not dribble at all. And I got to where I could kind of dribble by the end of my career. He helped me get to where I could shoot better, and he helped me with decision making and stuff like that.
Well, how did he do that? Was it particular drills or just pulling you aside and talking to you about the way you were doing things?
Well, we had a talk shortly after last season about what we needed to improve on, and his definitely was 100% ball handling, especially left-handed, and he just had drills a lot that required dribbling, especially left-handed.
Okay. One of your biggest fans, the four of you, has been my wife all year long, and she's come up with various nicknames for you. So I want to ask you about the nicknames that she settled on and see what you think of them. What she came up with you was Magic. Do you like that?
I guess. I the only magic that I can do is managing to get injured like that, but hey.
All right, pass it to Camden, and we'll see. We'll talk to him a little bit. And she went through various nicknames for you. What she settled on was Superman.
That's very nice, but I think it's,
Well,
I
you
don't
got.
know that I deserve that, but
Well, when you're playing, she says you do amazing things, and then like when you're off the court, like today, you kind of have the Clark Kent look.
I appreciate that, I guess.
Okay. All right. Pass it to Peyton. And what she settled on for you was Commando.
I like that a lot. Wish I was, I don't know, maybe I need to get in the weight room to earn that title a little bit more, but I like it.
All right. And we'll talk to Jonah. And for Jonah, it had been the Artful Dodger, which I really like. For some reason, she changed it to producer, but I like Artful Dodger better.
Producer.
Yeah.
I like them both.
Okay.
They fit me.
They fit you? Okay. Let's see. We've got about 8 minutes to go here. So I'm going to ask you all, and I asked you before we started, to be thinking so that you could answer this question. Tell me a humorous story about something that happened during your time here at Callaway. Either humorous or if you've got a different kind of story you want to tell.
We always joke with Coach Donahue all the time about. We always tell him that we're going to take him out to eat sometime for lunch or something like that. And Coach Donahue's fun to mess with. He's a little bit. I don't know the word to describe it, but he's just funny. And our seniors especially, he's been here ever since we were sophomores. So we always like to mess with him and have fun with him. But one story I think, a memory, was when we went to Rupp Arena our sophomore year. That was just that was a fun time. We had to stay in the hotel for a couple nights and just go to shoot around and go to Rupp Arena and stuff like that. So those memories and stuff like that, that's something that you never take away from us. So that's fun.
All right, pass it on to Peyton there. And do you have a story you can tell me, Peyton?
He said something about Rupp, so I'll say something before. I guess in the bus, leaving the crowd when we got introduced and having the middle school come over and just the whole, everyone watching us as we walked out to go to Rupp Arena, it was just a moment of, how everyone was so proud that we accomplished winning the regional title, which we got to be a part of and experience a little bit. It was just a lot of, video games played too in the hotel rooms with the guys just talking. It was really a great experience for me.
Who's the best video game player?
It depends on what we play. If it's something with soccer, it's probably Camden, but I think I'll take the 2K title.
Okay, all right. Pass it on to Camden there. And do you have a story for me, Camden?
I don't know that I have a specific story, but I talked about Coach Donahue. He's a funny guy. He actually owes us, I don't know if Jonah mentioned this, but he owes us a dinner or a lunch or whichever he prefers, but he keeps dodging us. And he's supposed to take the 5 seniors out to eat. He won't do it. He promised, though, before he graduated.
He promised.
So I'll have to hold him to that.
Okay. Pass it on to Isaiah. We'll see if Isaiah has a story. And I'm sure you must have a humorous anecdote of some kind here, Isaiah.
Not sure if I do, but there's one story that sticks out in my mind from my senior year. And it's when we were having to go and get our basketball pictures made.
Okay.
And I had no idea what the studio was.
Okay.
And so there were 3 people on the phone at the same time trying to explain to me where the heck I was supposed to go. And I ended up having to turn around 4 times through Murray's, and this was back when Murray was having all the construction done.
Okay.
And I looked, and they just say, look for Cole and Jonah, and I didn't really know what to think, and they're out in the middle of the road, jumping up and down, throwing basketballs up in the air, trying to flag me down.
Now that's a good story. That's the kind of thing I had in mind. Oh, me. Well, that's that's terrific. Um, now, obviously, the four of you are going to really be missed next year, but you've got some teammates who will be back, and Coach Birdsong and the coaching staff. So, what do you think lays in store for Callaway County next season?
Well, I will still probably be going because I have a younger brother who plays,
Okay.
and who possibly will be starting next year. I don't know. He's a lot like me in regards to he shoots the ball well, but he's bigger than me. And
Okay. All right. Pass it on to Camden there.
I think that they have the opportunity if they want to be good and they get in the gym and work this summer. I mean, Garrett Scott has potential to be one of the best big men in the region, in my opinion. Jeremy can be one of the leading scorers in the region, and I think they can have a solid year. It just depends on whether or not they want to, whether they're willing to put in the time. And I think that they will do that. And I think they can have a good year.
Okay. Give it back to Isaiah for just a moment there, and we'll go around and I'll ask each of you this question. Tell me what you're going to be doing next year.
going to Murray State, and I don't know my major yet.
Okay. And we'll talk to Camden.
I'm looking at a couple of different things, but I'll either I think I'll end up probably just going to Louisville, going to college up there and enjoying that.
Okay. And we'll talk to Peyton.
I think I'm going to go to Murray State and take my talents to intramural ball.
Okay.
Little LeBron James.
Okay. And Jonah.
Next year I plan on going to Murray State and majoring in ag business and maybe potentially further my baseball career. I love baseball, so I may look at doing that.
All right. I want to thank all of y'all for doing the show today, and hopefully you'll come by and visit with us next season. All right. That brings to a close this edition of This Week in Laker Basketball.